Julia here from JM Squared Vintage. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with a bins haul. This was such a fun haul. There's so many interesting brands that I found today that I cannot wait to share with you. Some really niche BOLO brands, some cool vintage pieces. Just these are the kind of days that I love when I go to the bins. I hope you all had a beautiful weekend. I hope you all found some gorgeous treasures while you were outsourcing. But before we get started here, guys, if this is your first time here, if this is your first time stumbling on my channel, first and foremost, welcome. I am Julia. That is my name. We talk all things thrifting and vintage and the business of reselling on the internet here. If that sounds like something that you might be into, consider hitting subscribe down below. I would love to have you along on this journey. But without further ado, guys, I'm getting started really late today, so the light's gonna be a little bit wonky, and we've got a lot to get through. So why don't you go grab yourself a snack, grab yourself a drink. You know I've got my matcha latte, and we're going a little late here because it is about 3:30 p.m. This is round 2, and we are already tempting fate. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the goods. So we'll kick this off with a good bread and butter piece. This is Polo Ralph Lauren. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that do a ton of polo. I've been trying to do some research on it. This is 100% linen and it is extra large. It's in fantastic condition. It's this fun plaid. It's got the little pony there. If you do a ton of polo stuff, let me know, what do you look for? What is the kind of stuff that you like? I'm really interested. I've, again, been kind of going down the wormhole a little bit. I feel like I don't see as much polo as other people do in other parts of the country, and that might be because it gets picked up in store before it gets to the bins, but I thought this was really nice. And 100% linen polo, polo's an expensive brand. I figure probably no less than $20, $25, maybe more towards $30, $35. And it's in great condition. I love these colors, so summery. Next up, this is something that if I found this 5 years ago, I would have been through the roof. But this is a little North Face fuzzy jacket. Now, these do not go for nearly as much as they used to. It's super duper soft, it's size small. The main reason I picked it up is this beautiful green color. North Face is always a good, reliable seller, but certain things do sell for higher prices than others these days. I'll probably see $20, $25 on this. So if you are out and about, unless you're finding this in a large size, an extra large, 2X, whatever, I probably wouldn't be paying up for it. I certainly would not be paying $15 for something like this, unless you're buying it for yourself, in which case do it, because these things are fantastic and they are pretty expensive new. I want to say they're over $100, but like I said, I'll probably see somewhere, $20, $25 on this. I just love that green. Next up, this is such a cute shirt. And I know I've seen this brand before. I'm not sure if this is a Nordstrom brand or something that is a higher end boutique brand, but this is from Faro. And that is the label. Let me know if you're familiar with it. It's, again, somewhere deep in my brain. I've never picked up a piece from them, but I've heard it somewhere. And this is absolutely beautiful. So this is this ultra light sheer kind of shadow floral top with a ruffle that cascades down the front, a little bit of a kind of a peplum bottom, but this is more of a boxy fit, so it's not gonna be a true peplum. Ever so slight puff to the sleeves in brand new condition, size medium. So sold comps for this brand are kind of all over the place. So somewhere between maybe 20 and 35 on this. I mean, this is so pretty with spring coming up. This can also go for bridal keywords because it is white and something that somebody could easily make, a pretty cute outfit with. Next up, this is a perfect example of the kind of day that I had. So this is from Pendleton, and it's a baby blanket. So it's got purple fringe on it. This pattern, in case you're unfamiliar, if you're familiar with Pendleton, you know what this is, but this I believe is the Chief Joseph pattern, and it comes in all different colors. And it's just, again, a little baby blanket size. These things retail for $180 if memory serves me right. I bought one for my godson when he was born. I cannot remember how much I paid for it. And on the resale market, I'll still probably see somewhere $40 or $50 on this. Pendletons are always a great pickup. They're just forever in style, super high quality worsted wool, but I will go about getting this as clean as I can and get it listed. Oh, interesting. So I'm seeing this and it's labeled robes and shawls. So this is maybe not a baby blanket and maybe meant to be a shawl. That's interesting. Cool, so I'll do a little bit more research on this, but I'm gonna be real. Anytime I see Pendleton wool in the bins, I'm gonna go ahead and pick that up. Next up, a great little piece from Patagonia. This is just a little like tech shirt. I don't think that this is a base layer. I think that this is more of like a hiking shirt. It's lightweight. This is probably more for heat and sun protection than it is for warmth. But I'll do a little digging. It's in fantastic condition. This mesh piece runs under the arm, so that's definitely for ventilation. I'll probably see like $20, $25 on this. Patagonia, again, and always buy at the bins. You know, something like this, you maybe want to check what the cost is versus the comps if you see it at the regular thrift. Certain Patagonia pieces, if they're charging $15, that's a no-brainer, but something like this, you know, you probably want to cap your acquisition cost at about $5. Next up, one of those brands that I love to find. This is 90s Vintage Express, maybe closer to Y2K Vintage. This is just a simple little black mini dress, slip style mini dress. This style is so like versatile. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this is probably more Y2K than 90s, just going on the tag. Kind of see that there. And it's size 5'6" in perfect condition. It's got adjustable straps, really simple silhouette. I have no doubt that this will go pretty quickly, and I'll probably see somewhere like between 30 and 36 on this. And there's a little bit of stretch to it, which is nice. Next up, this is a little piece from J. Crew and Universal Standard. So Universal Standard makes really like high quality basics, but one of the things that they're known for is being very, very size inclusive. I want to say that most of their stuff goes up to 4XL, and they have this really cool thing. If you are somebody whose like weight fluctuates a lot, this is something that you should kind of keep on your radar. They offer this thing called Fit Liberty, where say you buy this right now and you are a size 2XL and you know your weight fluctuates between 2XL and 3XL. Like you can exchange the garment that you have for the same garment in the size that you are now. It's a really kind of novel concept. I'm interested as to how many people take them up on that. I would love to see the data on it, but it's a pretty neat thing. Either way, this is a collab that they did with J. Crew. It's a size medium, and this is like a Cupro midi dress. It's really cute. So it's got cap sleeves. I don't know how much detail you're picking up here. It's got a V-neck, cap sleeves, and then it's like a shift silhouette. It's not tight, just kind of like body skimming. And then there is a slit in the front. This isn't on the side, this is like right in the front. Sold comps on this are between like $40 and $60 depending on the size. So this is a pretty great find. This is one of those dresses that is like really versatile. Like it can easily be dressed up for like an evening event, but this can also just as easily be thrown on with sandals and a necklace and go to brunch, right? Like this is a workhorse in your closet. It can look dressy and it can look very casual. And you'd probably be pretty comfortable wearing it in all situations because it is that nice, breezy, loose fit. With pockets, big pockets. That is such a cute dress. That is so right up my alley. Next up, now this, this was an exciting label to find. I'm pretty sure it's not as exciting as I thought, but you know, we're just all gonna have a moment of seeing Christian Lacroix in the bins. This is an adorable boot. Like this feels to me like real leather. I don't think it is though on closer inspection. So it's a boucle skirt with faux leather, croc embossed panels for the pockets, button down front, just like a little mini skirt. Anytime I see Lacroix, anybody out there love Absolutely Fabulous? Back in the 90s, like anytime I hear the name Christian Lacroix, I just picture Adina coming down in that god-awful like orange and yellow bodysuit just saying, people are gonna look at me and say, but it's a Lacroix. Please let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But it's in great condition. It's a size 2. It looks like sold comps on this are somewhere around like $30 or $40. If this was Christian Lacroix in his heyday or from like a ready-to-wear line, I mean, we're talking hundreds, very big name designer, but still a cool find and always, you know. Next up, okay, this was an exciting find and I'm interested to know how many other people pick this stuff up. So this is just a blazer. This is definitely wool. It's actually wool mohair blend and it's from Uniqlo, but it is from their Plus J line. And that is the label you're looking for. This is a collab line that they did with Jill Sander, one of my all-time favorite designers. This is a collab line that they did with Jill Sander, and I don't know if they do it anymore. I feel like the last collection they did together was like 2013 3. And I know this because I always keep my eyes out for the drop, because I usually pick up 1 or 2 pieces, because again, I cannot afford Jill Sander. So this is how I acquire it. But this is a beautiful blazer. It's 3-button. It's got this gorgeous like stitch detail on the collar. Hopefully you can see that. Again, like this is wool mohair, and then the lining is Cupro, and it's in flawless condition. It's a size small, and honestly, I mean, just like Uniqlo always really dazzles me with the quality of their garments, not just their collab pieces, but all of them. I mean, like dollar for dollar, you just can't get better stuff. This probably retailed like $160. That's the plus J stuff ranged between like $50 for like a white button-down shirt up to about $200 for a puffy coat. And something like this would have been kind of towards that higher end, but like the materials on this are equivalent to what you would find easily in a $600, $700, $800 blazer. Just really, really gorgeous quality. I'll probably see like somewhere between $40 to $60 on that on the secondhand market. I'll have to look up, you know, specifically this model of blazer, because that will matter, but depending on if this is something that's like very in demand, that could easily go up to like $100 without batting an eye. For example, like the puffy coat that I have that I bought, I want to say in like 2023, maybe 2022, I got that for like $198, and it is selling today for $400. So it's definitely a label to keep your eyes out for. It's something that there's a lot of people like me out there that are looking for those pieces in particular, especially if this line is done, if she's no longer doing the collab. These things are going to be a little bit hotter going forward. That goes for a lot of the Uniqlo collabs, like the JW Anderson one. I've definitely seen some things from that line go kind of crazy. Either way, Uniqlo is great to pick up. Number 1, if you can get it at the bins, but number 2, if you are kind of keyed into some of the different lines that are more in demand. They're puffies, also just like plain old Uniqlo puffies sell very, very well. Next up, this is a label. I'm so interested. Let me know if you guys are familiar with this label, because I've found a bunch of pieces from him and they've always sold really well for me. This is Alberto Macalai. I hope I'm saying that right. This is like a leopard print sheer. This is open weave and a handkerchief hem, almost like a shark bite hem, tunic cap sleeve sweater. It's got the kind of solid band in the back there. There's wood beads down the front. Everything I've ever sold from Alberto Macalai has sold between like $30 and $50. So it's definitely on the higher end. I know it's a higher end designer, but let me know if you're familiar with this brand. It is a label that I know sells well. I just don't know much about the designer itself. So let me know if you're familiar with it, if this is a brand that you love to wear, if this is a brand that you actively seek out. Let me know your experience. But this is in beautiful condition, super cute, size medium. You know, this is a little bit less significant than some of the other pieces that I've had, so I'll probably see like 35 on this roundabout. Next up, lots of linen here. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this shirt had no tag on it. It is linen. This is like a very heavyweight linen. And the construction on this is so, so nice. It obviously has been stuffed in a bag for a couple of days, so it looks an absolute fright, but I don't know who this is from. I'm gonna do some Google searching. This is something that will sell regardless, but like this feels like a shirt that was probably a couple $100. There's no tags on the inside. So it's either vintage or high-end designer and somebody removed the tags. There's no way it's not one of those two options. So on the low end, I'll probably see about $30. If I can figure out what this is and it's high-end designer, that, you know, then it's a matter of who made it, but it's about a size medium. It's popover style. It is also men's, so very interesting and very, very cool piece. I cannot wait to see what this looks like washed up and pressed up, because like I said, it's a special piece and it feels expensive. I've never felt linen like this. Gorgeous. All right, moving right along. These I almost didn't pick up, and I'll show you why. So these are from 7 for All Mankind, and they're like faux leather. They're really soft and supple. They're crop leg, a kick boot. They've got a seam down the front, but there's a little bit of like pen on them. You can see it right here, kind of on the back. So pen is something that you can usually get out of most fabrics really easily with rubbing alcohol, but I don't know how well that's going to go with pleather. Seeing as that alcohol is a very strong solvent and pleather is essentially like plastic. So I will see how this goes. Hopefully it comes out easily. These are super cute pants. They're a size small, but still sold comps on these are on the $30 to $40 range. So I'd love to be able to kind of salvage these and get them back out into the world. I think that these are also considered like washable pleather. So I'm gonna have to find that care tag and see if I can wash it. Not something I usually risk with faux leather pieces, but if I can, I will. That's maybe not a risk I would have taken at about $15, but at a couple bucks of the bins, for sure, that's worth the risk. Next up, so much linen this day, guys. This is from Hot Cotton. I think this is probably a little bit vintage. I've picked up a few pieces of Hot Cotton, you know, like they're made in the US, really nicely made. I love this print. It's a size, I think it's 2X, yeah, 2X. It's in like flawless condition. I think that this will be a very quick sale just because of what it is. You know, this can go for resort wear, this is vacation, this is summer, we're coming up on spring, like the colors are really pretty together. Lots of ways that I can keyword this. I'm interested, does anybody else pick up Hot Cotton? Do you see it a lot? Is it a brand you do a lot of? This is the first or second one that I've found in these bins. I found some in the thrift that I've picked up. And they've done pretty well, generally, you know, between like $20 and $35, depending on what it is and size and whatnot. But let me know your experience with it. Do you pick it up? Do you leave it behind? Do you love it? This is just something that I can keyword the heck out of. And between that, the fabric and the size, I think that that means this will be a pretty quick sell, especially as we're going into spring. Next up, this is a little piece from UMG. I haven't picked up a ton of UMG, and I, to be totally honest, haven't seen much of UMG. UMG is like a boutique brand, but they're kind of like, if you don't have the money for Free People, you can look at UMG. You know what I'm saying? They're kind of that vibe. So this is like a sweater tunic, tie-dye-ish stripes, black and white, 3/4 length sleeves. I like this little detail on the side. So it's got like a little bit of a godet here on the side with an exposed seam. High-low hem with a raw hem. This is the kind of thing from UMG that will sell very, very quickly. It's a boutique brand. It doesn't sell for a ton, but it does, stuff like this generally sells really quickly. Also a size large, in great condition. I'll probably see, you know, again, somewhere between 25 and 32 on this. Maybe 20 to 30, somewhere in that range. I have no doubt this will go quick. Next up, far be it from me to leave behind a black cashmere cardigan. So this is from Charter Club. I kind of don't care who makes it. I will pick up a black cashmere cardigan. This is super classic, just long sleeve, button front. It's a size extra large. It isn't oversized. It's just a very classic cardigan, like the kind of cardigan you would see with a twin set, right? Shell buttons, extra large, in absolutely perfect condition. I will probably see no less than like $35 on this. Black cashmere cardigans are just like an always buy. You can comfortably pay up for them. Doesn't necessarily matter the brand. If it's cashmere, it's going to be sought after. And you know, Charter Club, I've sold a lot of their cashmere. I will probably not pick up any other piece from Charter Club unless I find like a red velvet blazer, but their cashmere, absolutely. Especially in a really classic piece in great size. This has just everything about it that tells me it's gonna be a quick sale. Next up, I got these fun sweatpants. Now these are from H&M. You have probably heard me talk a lot about these artist collabs. This is a collab that they did with Keith Haring, obviously one of my favorite artists of all time. As one of you reminded me, he is from very close to my hometown in Reading, PA. These are in great shape. So they're a size small, and sold comps on these are in the like $25 to $30 range. I have no doubt that I'll get that. They're in great shape. Again, give them a bath and a steam. They're a little bit linty. I think they were up against like a white sweater in the bins, but anything with the Keith Haring motif, if the price is right, I'm gonna pick it up. And these like limited edition collabs, because they are limited edition, some of them can have really high demand after they sell out. Now, I'm not saying that this one does, but you can use the tag artwear with that because this is technically artwear. But just, you know, if you see something with a collab with a famous artist, like pick it up and do some comping on it, because oftentimes it's going to be worth the pickup. Next up, we've got this cute pair. You know I love my Quince. This is from Quince. These are 100% silk boxer shorts. I'm going to pick up any Quince. I'm going to pick up any Quince silk that I can. It is a size large, they're black. Obviously get them a bath and a steam. They're in perfect condition. These I think retail, and I think that these were sold in a set. I wanna say they retail like $40, $45. I'll probably get about $20 for them. Obviously you wanna keep your eyes out for brands like Lunya, Lily Silk, anything like that. Super, you know, those are pretty pricey, but even Quince. People love these silk boxers and these silk sleep tanks, so they're a great pickup anytime you find them. Next up, this is from a brand called Saga. I have picked up a ton of Saga. I think that they are local here. I'm pretty sure that they are a boutique brand that has some standalone stores here. This is the second piece I've ever found that is not linen. Everything I've ever picked up from Saga that is linen has sold quickly, but this I thought was really cute. So it's like a slub jersey. It's got this like embroidered net overlay here. And if you look at the back, it kind of overlays the bottom half. So this is like long line. It's got a scalloped edge. It's got pockets. And this is a size 3, which I'm gonna guess is like a size large. And it's in flawless condition. I'm not sure what I'll get for this. The only other thing that I found from them that isn't jersey was this like sweatshirt dress, but it was in a very like login look style silhouette. So we'll see how this goes. This is very boho. This is a little bit left of what I've experienced Saga to be. So interested to see how it goes. Probably somewhere $20 to $30 on this, maybe 35. Next up, now I am like here to poll you guys for what you think of this. But when I see this tag, I am going to pay attention. So if you watch me for any amount of time, you know that I typically don't do men's suiting. I know that there's a lot of people out there that do. First of all, this felt like an absolute dream. And when I looked on the inside, this is Brioni. Now I know Brioni suits like start at $6,000. So they are very, very, very expensive. This one is Brioni expressly for Jack Taylor, which was like a men's tailor shop here in LA. I'm pretty sure it's no longer here, but it's just, you know, one of those kind of high-end places that guys would go. It is like a shadow pinstripe. It's got the Brioni monogrammed liner here. Now I don't see any like contents tag here. Usually they're like in the interior pockets. I'm not seeing anything. It's in great condition. Obviously needs a good steam, but it's one button. And I think a pretty decent cut. I have no idea what I'll get with this. Let me know what you think. I mean, I found this at the bins. It's not a big deal if this is like not worth the investment. But I mean, like when you see a Brioni tag in the bins, like you pick it up. These are so expensive. So I'll have to do a lot more research on this, but I'm very interested to hear if any of you have experience with buying and selling Brioni, if you have any insight as to what this is, like when it's from. Let me know, like, have you sold a lot of it? Do you know, what do you typically get for them? I mean, this has obviously been custom tailored, so there will have to be a lot of measurements taken, but pretty cool. I mean, it's just an exciting brand to find, right? Like it's something fun to talk about on YouTube, but I am so interested to hear anybody's experience with Brioni. Let me know. Next up, another polo piece that I'm interested to see how it does. This is gray flannel and it's a robe. This is Polo Ralph Lauren. It's size small medium. It's this great gray pinstriped robe in like a gray flannel. It's got the tie, which is always exciting in the bins, and it's in like perfect condition. Obviously very wrinkled because it's been sitting in a bag, but I'm interested to see how this does. This is really the first time in like a while I've picked up Polo Ralph Lauren. So I don't know. I have no idea what I'm gonna get for this. Maybe $30. I feel like sold comps that I saw on robes were between like $30 and $60, depending on what they were. And I think that this is gonna clean up really, really nice. So I've had really great experiences selling robes. They've always gone pretty quickly. So interested to see if this does the same. Let me know. Do you pick up robes? Like I'm a robe girl, so this is something that I always have my eyes out for, but I know not everybody's a robe person, so I could easily see that being something that a lot of people ignore when they're out thrifting. Next up, this is a little piece from Knitted and Knotted, which was an Anthropologie brand. Not sure if they're still around. This is their little tag. Anything I've ever found from Knitted and Knotted has sold really, really quick. Like there's a lot about this sweater that I love. Number one, it's this like wispy open weave kind of I think this is mohair. This feels like mohair. In this gorgeous like papaya color. Silk trim here. It's like multi-layer. And then on the back, it's got that pretty open weave there. And then again, multiple layers here. This is so boho. This feels so like true to what Anthropologie is. It's a size medium. Oh, it's an alpaca wool blend. Okay, that makes sense as well. But I'm not quite sure what I'll get for this. I haven't found much of knitted and knotted stuff, but the stuff I have found has sold generally like between $30 and $35. This is so unusual. Like I've never seen a sweater like this, so I don't think that this is gonna take a long time to sell. And this color is like for summer coming up, you get a tan, this will set that skin off just right. Next up, just like that Charter Club cashmere, this is Club Room, another brand I generally don't pick up. But this is 100% wool. This is a Shetland sweater. And I think it's vintage. I'm gonna guess that this is probably from the 90s. And it's a size large. It's this dark charcoal gray that's got a little bit of a light marl to it. It's in perfect condition. Again, I'm pretty sure that this is from the 90s. It is definitely a warm sweater. So definitely, it's just a cool find. I'll probably see, again, like somewhere $30 to $40 on this. I'll do some comping on it. I don't know how much is out there, so I'm interested to see, but it's a gray crew neck Shetland sweater. This is definitely a sweater that like people who like the kind of Irish style sweaters, this falls right into that category. I won't get as much as like an Aran Island sweater, that's for sure, but the same buyers will be after something like this. Next up, this was something I almost didn't pick up because it looked like something else from afar. So this is a pair of pants, and from afar they looked kind of like ultra suede, and when I picked them up, I cannot tell you what a weird texture this is. It's stretchy. Once I touched it, I'm like, this feels like leather, but then it stretches. I'm like, this, you know, those two things do not go together in my head. Then I saw the label. And that is the label for a brand called Road to Awe. Now, I've picked up a few pieces of Road to Awe. The first piece I ever picked up was this pair of like, it was like jeans in the back and then leather in the front. And it sold for like $180. And these are skinny leg, stretch goat skin pants, like the wild find. They're a size 26. I wish you had like feel-o-vision. I wish you could feel what these things felt like. A stretch, like suede-y leather is such a bizarre feeling to me. These probably retailed like $800. Road to Awe is a very, very expensive brand. And even with them being like skinny leg, just the fact that they're like an olive green, they're a stretch goatskin leather, which like how often do you find that in your life? I'll still probably see like somewhere between $100 and $150 to these, and I almost didn't pick them up. So guys, check the labels. Check the labels. This is the back label here. And one of the things that you can look for if you're seeing these is they're often kind of like embellished. So if you look closely at that corner of the pocket, you can see that extra little stitching work. And the other ones that I found, they had like little silver studs. So it's just, you know, something to check. Like if you do find a Road to Awe piece, make sure that all like the studs are there, that nothing's kind of fallen off of it. They're made really, really well, but what a find. Next up, another leather piece. This one's vintage, and far be it for me to ever leave a leather skirt behind. This is probably late 80s or early 90s in this kind of like cognac-y color. Just a little, like this is ever so slightly shorter than like knee length, right? This would be like a couple inches above the knee on most people because I believe this is a higher waist. It's a size 8. It's in like flawless condition. Side zip, really simple. And again, in that great, like warm, but classic color. I'll probably see somewhere between like $40 and $50 on this. That's about what I see for vintage leather skirts. Again, in like flawless vintage condition. So next up, this is a wild brand to find. In a million years, I never thought I would find a piece by these guys in the bins. So this is from a brand called Post O'Alls. And that's like a short slang for post overalls. And this is done by a Japanese designer. And if there's one thing to know about the Japanese, and this is so interesting, just like a lot of Americans have a deep love for Japanese workwear, this girl included, the Japanese tend to have a really deep love for vintage American workwear. So everything that they do, all of their kind of like design cues come from like that language of American workwear. In fact, like these are even made in the US, not in Japan, despite the fact that the designer is Japanese. And I believe that they are based in Japan as well. The construction on this is like insanely good. The textile is beautiful. The construction is gorgeous. All of the details are thoughtful. Now, obviously the most in-demand pieces from this brand are jackets, but this is no schlub. This retailed, I think, like $200 to $250. This is a crazy find. I'm so interested to hear if anybody else out there has ever found a piece by these guys. Let me know. But it's an exciting find. It's not a huge brand, but it's like an if you know, you know brand. I'll probably see, like, sold comps on their shirts are somewhere between like $40 and $100, depending on what they are. Just beautiful, like such a cool find. Let this serve as a reminder that if you ever find like vintage American workwear, think like Big E Levi's or vintage Carhartt, especially if you find anything like 1950s era, make sure that wherever you're listing it, if international shipping is available, you have international shipping at least to Japan available. I wouldn't be surprised if like 50% of the vintage Levi's that get sold in this country go to Japan. They really love vintage American workwear. Next up, a good little bread and butter piece from Ariat. Talk about a brand I do not see much at all out here in California. This is just a little like periwinkle blue sweatshirt jacket. Something like this I'll get like $20 for. Ariat's definitely a brand to keep your eyes out for. It sells really well, especially if you can find like the boots. Boots you'll probably get somewhere between like $80 and $100 for them, depending on the size and condition. But even their outerwear, this is kind of like a ranch wear brand. So this is the kind of stuff that people who are outside working in the elements, working with animals, people that really need stuff that can take abuse, this is a brand that they go to regularly. So this is probably one of the least significant pieces that I've ever found from Ariat, but still really nice quality and definitely a brand name that sells itself. And I'm sure any of you guys that live in states, live in areas that have big like horse property, farming and ranching around you, like I'm sure you see a lot more of this, and I'm sure you are picking it up, but if you are not, you should be picking it up. Next up, another great little bread and butter. This is Tommy Bahama. I pick up certain Tommy Bahama pieces. This is 100% silk. I have sold probably 15 of these shirts, and I will pick them up anytime I see them at a good price. It's a size large, it's 100% silk. It's that kind of herringbone textured silk. I'll get anywhere between like $25 and $30 on this. And it's crazy, like Tommy Bahama, like this shirt would be probably close to $200, if not over $200. So if you or somebody in your life loves Tommy Bahama, guys, look on the secondhand market. You can get some steals because Tommy Bahama is so expensive. So expensive retail. Next up, another wild label to find here. This is I'm Sorry from Petra Collins. This is a label I picked up because it looked unusual and really well made. This is like a pajama style top. It's satin. It's like a pink and green camo. Has that pajama style, that piping in like a lime green. It's a size medium. This brand is sold on S-Sense. If you are unfamiliar with S-Sense, you should probably get familiar with S-Sense. S-Sense is basically like a Revolve, but a little bit more niche with higher end brands. And it's a great place to kind of keep your eyes out on if you're looking for like what's new and upcoming. It's very much the kind of place that like the trendsetters shop. So go ahead and get yourself signed up for like their email list and just kind of keep tabs on the brands that they're carrying. Again, a little bit more niche than a Revolve, but also a little bit higher end and a little bit more like in the know brands. So this retailed, I want to say somewhere between $150 to $200. And on the resale market, I wasn't able to find this one exactly, but similar tops are going in like the $40 range. I'm telling you, this day was so crazy with some of these brands that I found. And this is no exception. I am so interested to hear if anybody else has ever found something from this designer. Let me know. Please, like, let me know. Like, it's not silk, right? Like, this isn't a silk piece. It's just, you know, an in-demand designer. Next up, brand that I love to find. This is a little bit of a bread and butter piece. This is Fresh Produce, and in a size small. These are just some little lightweight cotton striped pants. Fresh Produce is one of those brands. I don't know if they are sold in boutiques, but I do know that they have a standalone store in like Laguna Beach. If you are having a standalone store in Laguna Beach, you know that it's a pretty high-end brand. I've sold a lot of Fresh Produce, and it's a lot of like elevated basics, really casual things, t-shirts, long sleeves, little dresses, pants like this. I have no doubt I'll see probably like $25 to $30 on this. and probably pretty quickly. I've never had a pair of their pants, but everything else that I've had from them, unless it was like a size extra small, has sold really quick, like within a week or two. So keep your eyes out for the brand. And also, if you are shopping for stuff like this, if you like a good t-shirt, if you like a good like casual cotton jersey piece, check this stuff out on the secondhand market. They are very expensive. Like their t-shirts, I want to say, are like somewhere between $60 and $80. These were probably close to $100. And you know, the quality is gorgeous. The textiles are always really nice too. We are getting there, guys. Oh my God. Okay, so this was a really interesting thing. So first of all, I'm going to tell you about something that I didn't pick up that I feel kind of remorseful that I didn't get it, but at the same time, I'm not. So I found there was this really like supple, dark teal blue purse. It was like Elizabeth and James, but not like the Kohl's version of Elizabeth and James. It was like the Row Light version of Elizabeth and James. And when I went to like I warmed up the sticker and tried to pull it off, and it was pulling the blue dye off. So I left it behind. I'll think about that purse. Nothing haunts you like the things that you left behind at the thrift store, because you know, usually they're not there. Let me know about the vintage find or the thrift store find that you left behind that still haunts your dreams. Like, let me know, because I know we all have them. We all have that thing that we left behind and we still think about to this day. Anyway, I was comping something else earlier in the day. Turned out to be something that was like not that great, so I threw it back in. One of the brands that I had seen while I was comping it, I think the name of the shirt was something like Wallace. And while I was comping it, I saw a couple bags from MZ Wallace. Now, I had never heard of MZ Wallace, but I was like, you know, I just saw kind of the prices and they looked really nice. Well, later on that day, I was looking through the bags where I found that beautiful Elizabeth and James bag, and I found this bag, who was by MZ Wallace. And I mean, did we or did we not talk about the Baader-Meinhof phenomena a few weeks ago? This is like proof positive. I had never seen this before. Now I picked it up because it felt really nice. This is nylon. It's got a couple big pockets in the front here. The zipper is a little bit like catchy. I can clean that up. I can give that a little bit of cleanup and a little bit of a wax to make it run a lot smoother. But it has, you know, it's got like the little wristlet on the inside. It's in great shape. Again, it just needs a little bit of a cleanup. There are versions of this bag that have resold for like $199. I think that they retail like $400. They're very expensive, and obviously the quality is gorgeous. I'll anticipate somewhere between like 75 and 100, I guess, on this. Let me know if you have experience with this brand, but also how crazy that like I saw this for the first time ever while comping a completely different thing, and then like 2 hours later saw one of the bags in the bins. And the quality is really nice. Like, let me know if this is a bag brand that you like seek out, if this is a bag brand that you love. Again, this is my first time ever seeing it, ever like hearing the name and then finding a piece. I think it's a really nice, like durable bag. So let me know. Next up, this is a brand I love to see in the bins, especially in great condition. This is Cosabella. And if you are unfamiliar with Cosabella, Cosabella is an Italian-made like intimates line, and their stuff is so expensive. This is just a little crop top, like just kind of a stretchy black round neck top. There's a little bit of a sparkle to it, and it doesn't feel like the kind of sparkle that's gonna like fall off with abrasion. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Every woman in the world has experienced glitter fallout, right? So it's a size medium. They're made in Italy. You want to keep your eyes out for this brand. I want to say that this top alone retailed at about $178. I have found slips. The slips have sold for like $40, $50. This will probably resell somewhere, you know, 30 to 50 depending on other comps. It's a great basic. It's something that can be worn to bed or to like the club. And again, in flawless condition. Definitely keep your eyes out for that label. This is a top from a designer that I had never heard of before. And I'll be totally honest that I really struggled to read this tag, but I picked it up because it felt so nice. Like, this is for sure silk, this beautiful little flutter sleeve. It's got this gorgeous embroidery detail on it. The bottom is finished with that cute little black woven detail there. The brand on this is Mint by Judy Arnold. I, again, had never heard of it before, but it was just too nice to leave behind. It looks like it was a higher end brand. I think it was like a higher end like boutique brand. And when I say boutique brand, I mean like it sells in really high end boutiques, like around things like a Nili Lotan and like Raquel Allegra. It's just beautiful. And it's in flawless condition. Size 2, so I'm not sure. Oh look at the closure. This is like one easy way to tell. Instead of seeing a zip, you have this row of tiny little snaps on the side. I have only ever seen closures like this on extremely high-end garments. So, like I said, even though I didn't know the brand, it was something that I picked up regardless because the quality on it is outrageous. Just so good. Sold comps from this brand, and I can't find this shirt, are anywhere between like $30 and $150. So somewhere in that range, I'll probably bank on somewhere between like 30 and 50, being realistic, but isn't it beautiful? Oh, this was such an exciting label to see in the bins, especially. So this, as the like Japanese fashion nerd that I am, seeing Junko Shimada in the bins was truly a wild experience. Now, Junko Shimada, if you are unfamiliar, Japanese-born designer. I believe most of her work is still sold in Japan, but she lives in France. I believe she has actual haute couture as like designated by like the French governing body that allows you to use the term haute couture. She's done designs for like Lady Gaga. She worked with Aoki, who's like a Japanese suit maker, to do the uniforms for the 2020 Japanese Olympic team, which is a big deal because that was in Tokyo. And these are from Part 2, which is, I believe, the more like casual wear line that she does. And these are cotton twill, wide leg, like natural color. I believe these are about ankle length, kind of utility style pants. And they probably retailed about $300 to $500. I don't know if they are vintage or not, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research. There's a little bit of like dirt down here on the hems, which I can easily get out with a good wash. And I'll probably see like sold comps. I haven't found these pants specifically, and they say they're a size, I can't tell if that's an 8 or a 9. I'm gonna assume that's a size 8. Sold comps on Part 2 pieces are anywhere between like $50 and $150, so I'm not quite sure what I'll get. But man, that was a heart flutter when I saw that label in the bins. I mean, I'm telling you, the amount of things that I found today that I never in a million years would have expected to see in the Goodwill bins. These are the days I dream about. Again, another thing that if it was in my size, there is not a chance it would be leaving my closet. And finally, oh my God, this was wild. So this I saw first. I just saw this quilted kind of like corner with a pocket, and I was gonna pick it up because I know that these kind of quilted like jackets are really hot right now. And then I saw the label. And that is Jess Meany. And I don't know if I am saying that right, but I know that label. And she did a collab with Free People for a very similar cut to this, just different patterns. But these things retail, the Jess Meany quilted jackets, the jackets themselves retail for like $500, and the vests retail for about $300. So this was an incredible find in the bins. This is a size medium large. It's in fantastic condition. Definitely, guys, get another look at that label. It's really kind of unusual, but I recognized it almost immediately. And the fact that it's like rubberized, like even if you don't know what a label is, if you feel the brand label and the actual letters are rubberized, I want you to pick it up and at least comp it, because this is a super expensive process for like a label. But either way, I was like delighted when I found this. Sold comps on vests like this are between like $75 and $150. But that is it, guys. That is the haul for today. I mean, there are so many Bolo brands here that I never in a million years would have thought that I would see in the bins ever. I'm so interested to hear your experience with a lot of these brands. If you have found them, if you've sold them, like let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. I think I've got about 34 pieces here, and I think I've got somewhere around $1,100 worth of sales. That can vary widely depending on that Brioni piece. I'm only estimating on my spreadsheet between like $40 and $50, but I also see sold comps that are like $500, so I have no idea. I need to do a lot more research. Let me know your intel. But guys, thank you so much for hanging with me while I go through these hauls. I swear, I always have so much fun doing it. So I really appreciate you taking some time out of your like incredibly busy weeks to hang with me. I always just have so much fun. But if you guys had fun, please consider leaving a like or comment on this video. Of course, don't forget to hit subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. Of course, if you ever have any kind of content that you want to see me do, don't ever hesitate to put it down in the comments below. But without further ado, guys, I want you to have the most beautiful week. Happy hunting, and I will see you all in the next one.